Spider-Man, The Spider Shadow, issue number 1 from Marvel Comic, and this is a mini-series. It's a what-if mini-series. This is part 1 of 4. This is by Chip Zdarsky, who is doing another Spider-Man series as well, right? I forgot which one. I think he's doing the mainline Spider-Man, unless he switched to something else. There's a lot of Spider-Man comics coming out, I've noticed. Just this week alone, there's like 3 or 4 different Spider-Man series. I think Marvel's was really milking that franchise. They need to kind of hold back a bit. So yeah, basically, as we all know, in the canon story, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, got a new black suit that kind of responded to his every thoughts. Eventually, he discovered that it was a symbiotic alien life form that was trying to permanently bond with him. And he got rid of the suit before it made him, go off the deep end. This is a what if, and this what if Spider-Man had kept the Venom suit, what would have happened? And it's kind of what you would expect. Basically, Spider-Man having a lot of nightmares about not being able to protect his loved ones and them all dying, and he's starting to lose himself. And the only time he feels okay is when he's out web swinging with the suit on. And he starts becoming more aggressive. Like he comes across some muggers trying to rob an old lady, and he kind of beats them up, but before he can take his anger out on them too much, he's able to stop himself. But yeah, he starts kind of pushing everybody away from him. He starts becoming a bit more aggressive. He goes to the Fantastic Four and has Reed Richards run some tests on him. And Reed Richards basically wants to keep the symbiote life form for himself so he can study it. And also because he thinks that it's doing some negative stuff to Peter. But Peter wants to keep the suit. And so Peter keeps the suit and he goes out. And there's a moment, I'm not going to spoil who, but one of the villains, the Hobgoblin, kills one of, well, not kills, but let's just say attacks one of Peter's loved ones and puts them in a life or death situation. And so Peter beats him up and he tries to go and saves his loved one, but the suit won't let him because it's too dangerous. And so because of that, Peter's loved one dies and Peter snaps and fully embraces the symbiotes and snaps Hobgoblin's neck. And that's it. Like he's fully bonded now with this Venom suit. And he's crossed the event horizon. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It seems like it's going to be a really short review. So what can I say about this series? Or at least this issue? I like the writing so far. I mean, it's pretty good. It is kind of just, it's kind of what I was expecting it to be. It's basically, he's having nightmares. He can't protect his loved ones. He starts becoming more aggressive. He isn't able to protect one of his loved ones. He fully embraces the suit. And then I'm going to guess he starts becoming more and more darker, more and more violent, starts killing his rogues gallery rather than, just beating them up and having the cops arrest him. The heroes eventually are going to realize that there's something wrong. They try to stop Peter. Peter starts becoming more aggressive, even towards his friends. He starts pushing his remaining loved ones away. And then maybe at that point, he's going to do something and realize, like, I'm lost. Like, I'm past the point of return. This is no longer me anymore. Like, I'm not myself. And he's going to find some way to get rid of the suit. And there you go. That's my guess anyways. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong because that would just be really, really cliche. And I'm hoping this doesn't become cliche. So, I me't that's kind of what this issue is. It's kind of, I don't want to say cliche, but it's what I was expecting it to be. Like when I read that this is like what if he had kept the suit. I pretty much expected, okay, he's going to become darker and he's going to probably kill one of his villains. I wasn't expecting one of his loved ones to die. But I wasn't really so surprised when it did happen because this is like a what if, so nothing really matters. So yeah, the artwork is, I mean, the characters seem like themselves. I probably would have liked it a little bit more if Peter was more of himself at first before starting immediately with him having nightmares and already starting to become aggressive. I know this is basically a continuation of the Amazing Spider-Man run where, he gets the suit originally. And this is just basically a non-canon split off where it's like, you know, what if he had kept it? So it's one of those where like you kind of need to read that story, the original story, to kind of. But I would have liked it here a little bit more if we had more of normal Peter for a little bit. Doesn't have to be for too long. Maybe the first few pages or so we just have normal Peter, and then he can become just a little bit more aggressive. But it can be like smaller things, you know, like maybe he hits his enemies a little bit harder. He, you know, instead of like just hanging them for the cops to arrive, maybe he slams them to the floor. Like he's just a little bit more violent, but he's still our lovable, witty, you know, Peter Parker, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And then he just starts becoming, you know, then the nightmares start happening, and then maybe he sees one of his loved ones, you know, in danger. Maybe they just kind of hurt themselves, and then he starts becoming more aggressive, and then he loses one of his loved ones, and that's when he's, you know, he snaps and he fully embraces the suit. Maybe something like that. But instead, it's like we already start with him already kind of off the deep end. So I would have liked, just especially for someone who's never read the original. I mean, I have, but like if someone else were coming into this and they haven't read, you know, the original run, it would have been nice maybe for them if they could see him being his normal friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and then slowly by increments becoming more and more aggressive, more and more darker. Kind of like the whole boiling the frog analogy, where you don't just turn the heat up all the way, but you just slowly start turning the heat up to the point where the frog doesn't realize that the water is boiling. Instead, this is just kind of like we're already there. So I would have liked it if we had a slow burn, where we slowly see him starting to unravel. But we start off with him normal, and then he slowly unravels, rather than we're already him in the midst of nightmares and already unraveling. So that's my my take. That's like what I would have done anyways. The artwork itself is okay. It's not really my cup of tea, and there are parts where like it's good and other parts where it's not. Like there are parts where people look like people, and then other parts where just like the faces and stuff like that just looks off. So yeah, and it kind of goes from panel to panel. So I don't know if like maybe the artist was rushed at times, because at some points like the artwork's not that bad. It's pretty decent, and then at other points it's like it's not terrible, but it just seems a little half-assed. So I don't know. So yeah, not really a fan of the artwork. It seems kind of hit or miss. So yeah, that's the Spider's Shadow Part 1 of 4. What would I grade it? Maybe a 5 out of 10 or a C. It's just average. It could possibly be better. We'll see how it goes. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's just, it kind of is what it is. Again, not really all that great with the artwork. Not a fan of the artwork. The writing, it's okay, but it's kind of cliche, and I kind of would have liked a little bit different, just a little bit more of Peter being his normal self at first, before slowly, you know, going off the deep end, rather than we're already starting with him having nightmares and stuff like that. So it kind of feels like we're kind of jumping into issue 2 right from the get-go, where I wouldn't have spent the whole first issue with him as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but maybe like the first fourth of an issue, or maybe the first half of the issue, he would be kind of his normal self with just a little slight more snappiness. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. Are you guys reading this? Are you guys enjoying it so far? I mean, it is just one issue. Did you guys like the issue? I mean, no. I will say that, yeah, it's kind of interesting that there's a lot of Spider-Man stuff coming out nowadays. I mean, this is like, just this week alone, there's like 3 or 4 different Spider-Mans. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. If you guys have any recommendations for stories, for comics, let me know. If it's like something recent, you know, that'd be good. And if it's something that's ongoing, then just give me a good jumping on point. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope to see you guys next time. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.